Forever could never be long enough for me. Feel like I've had long enough with you. Forget the world now, we won't let them see. But there's one thing left to do. Now that the weight has lifted, love has surely shifted my way. Marry me today and every day. Marry me. If I ever get the nerve to say hello in this cafe, say you will. Say you will. Together could never be close enough for me to feel like I am close enough to you. You wear white and I wear out the words I love you, and you're beautiful. Now that the wait is over, and love has finally showed her my way. Marry me today and every day. Marry me. If I ever get the nerve to say hello in this cafe, say you will. Say you will. Promise me you'll always be happy by my side. I promise to sing to you when all the music dies. And marry me today and every day. Marry me. If I ever get the nerve to say hello in this cafe, say you will. Say you will. Marry me.
You're the most amazing, loving, sexy, generous, and thoughtful person I know. I promise to love you indefinitely and unconditionally. I'll always be by your side. Be your best friend when everything's crazy, be there for focus, and to help guide you through the storm. I vow to trust you implicitly, be your biggest fan and most competent critic, and disagree with you when I truly believe that I'm correct. But we both know it's not the case. I'm your biggest advocate of everything you dream about, and will be there every step along the way, assisting you as long as you can.
Christopher, you're my best friend, partner in adventure, and love of my life. I promise to always be your biggest supporter, advocate, and confidant. You've always been such a rock for me, and I will do the same for you. I vow to never let us lose our spark, and to always look into your baby blues with love and admiration. In good times and in bad, you can count on me. I will lift you up when skies are gray and be the first to celebrate every accomplishment, large or small. I vow to respect and care for you each day of our lives. Most of all, I promise to love you until the end of time.
have the blessing of their family for this marriage. Please be seated. Okay, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today in beautiful Palm Springs to celebrate the holy matrimony of Calley Weiner and Chris Martin. The story of Calley and Chris is a timeless love tale with a modern twist that has brought us all here today in witness of their marriage. I know this because I have known Calley and Chris nearly as long as they've known each other. And by nearly, I mean I literally met them about a half hour after they met each other. Now, everyone probably read Chris's picturesque version on their wedding website of how him and Calley first met, which is mostly true and goes something like this. One Saturday night in San Francisco, Calley was waiting outside for a cab where she met Chris and his friend. In true gentleman fashion, Chris asked if he could escort her in an Uber to North Beach, where he was meeting some of his friends. Calley agreed, as she happened to be heading the same way to meet yours truly and my better half, the lovely Mrs. Hammond. Now, as serendipitous as this sounds, and in the end truly ended up being, Calley's friends were slightly concerned with their decision-making process at the time. From our perspective, Calley, standing about 5 feet tall, agreed to take this new taxi service called Uber with two strange men across town. Luckily for Calley, though, one of the two guys happened to be somewhat normal and at the very least tall. Even luckier is that she made it to North Beach, where everyone met Chris for the first time. Now, once introductions were made, Calley and Chris proceeded almost exclusively to chat it up with one another. In classic Calley and Chris form, they were both laughing throughout the conversation and were happy just talking to each other, while the rest of us were entertaining Chris's friend. At the end of the night, Calley and Chris exchanged contact information and started dating shortly thereafter. Little did they suspect at the time of this courageous initial interaction would lead them here today. Their story, of course, the story between then and now does not end there. And in preparation for today, I sat down to speak with Calley and Chris individually to ask them some challenging questions about their past and future together. It was amazing how alike their responses were in describing the first couple years of their relationship. They used words like adolescent, spontaneous, vivacious. To quote Calley, I was in my early 20s and living in an apartment that had a stove in the closet. However, at the end of their youthful onset, their relationship came to its first maturing moment when they made the mutual decision to live together. Not only just to live together, but to live in a 500 square foot junior one-bedroom condo with virtually no privacy. Needless to say, not only did the relationship survive such challenge, it further blossomed as the couple began to grow together. Later in our one-on-ones, I asked Calley about the qualities she admired in Chris. She used words like patience, thoughtfulness, and compassion. Patience, and how long she takes to get ready to leave the apartment, or how messy she can be. Thoughtful in the way Chris always takes the opposing view of every argument, no matter the subject, even if he disagrees with the opposing view.
Always.
Calley later admitted to me that not only did she learn to love their debates, well, sometimes, but credited Chris in making her a better person, as she learned to become more considerate with those who have opposing views. Which brings us to compassion. When Calley and the Wiener family faced their most challenging time, Chris was there by their side. And while I never had the pleasure of knowing Mitch, I truly believe he would be happy for you both here and now, especially since we're in Palm Springs, and especially since Ace could be in the wedding. Now, when asking Chris what qualities he enjoyed most about Calley, he had a slightly different approach, to say the least. For everyone who does not know Chris as well as some of us, allow me to preface that he's an engineer and intellectually very capable of solving most things. It was then, in our discussion, the engineer and Chris took over and became very methodical in his response. He first started with the question and began working its way backwards, breaking it down into several small steps, where I received digits of information like supportive and funny, all while trying to keep up what turned into be a short dissertation. So about an hour and a couple beers later, Chris concluded almost abruptly,
but with a very genuine and sincere response to the question, and said this: I cannot define what it is about Calley that I love so much, and do not know if I will ever figure it out, but I'm okay with that. You see, Chris, in all his brilliance, cannot figure out the most important thing in his life, which I interpret to mean a couple things. First, that Chris thought long and hard about this question well before I ever asked him. And secondly, he confided to me that he was unable to solve this question, which speaks volumes for his infinite love for Calley. After our one-on-one discussions, having known both of them for several years now, I realized what makes Calley and Chris's relationship so special, well, at least in my opinion. They're opposites. Now, vertically, they are very opposite. And I learned that day just how contrasting truly they are as individuals. So, Calley and Chris, I guess it's true what they say, opposites attract. And yes, while it may have been your adventurous start together that sparked the initial interaction, I believe it is your opposite personalities which attracted you both to each other, and your shared values, life aspirations, and love for one another that bonds you together. Before we get to the main event, I would like you both to pause, look around, recognize the people before you here today. You're surrounded by friends and family, people who are here to celebrate your declaration to each other. And by coming here today, we declare our love and support for the both of you and this marriage. On behalf of everyone here today, I ask you both to make a pledge to us. Please look at me now, and after each question, respond with, "We do." Do you, Calley and Chris, pledge to create life of mutual respect, compassion, generosity, and patience toward each other as you grow together in the years to come?
We do.
Do you pledge to recognize each other's individuality and celebrate each other's uniqueness as a strength in marriage, while at the same time guard one another's weaknesses with understanding, support, and inspiration?
We do.
You did it. Nice job. Calley, Chris, from the very serendipitous start of your relationship, through the eventful first couple of years dating, then living together, to today, your road together, like everyone else, has not been perfectly straight, nor will it be without its own challenges in the future, because after all, marriage is just another step in the long journey that you are making together. But here today, you have just pledged to all of us that you will face whatever life presents you together. And it is our responsibilities as witnesses to support your commitment you're about to take to one another. We truly love you both and wish nothing but the best in your marriage. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Mikey, the rings, please. One more.
Calley, you are the most amazing, loving, sexy, generous, and thoughtful person I know. I promise to love you indefinitely and unconditionally. I will always be by your side, be your best friend, and whenever things get crazy, be there for focus and to help guide you through the storm. I vow to trust you implicitly, be your biggest fan and most competent critic, and disagree with you only when I truly believe I'm correct. But we both know it's usually not the case. I'm your biggest advocate of everything you dream about and will be there every step along the way, assisting you as you need. Through the good times and the bad, I'm there, baby, and I'm not going anywhere. Blue one. Unless you want that one. Such tiny hands.
Bravo.
Christopher, you're my best friend, partner in adventure, and love of my life. I promise to always be your biggest supporter, advocate, and confidant. You've always been such a rock for me, and I will do the same for you. I vow to never let us lose our spark, and to always look into your baby blues with love and admiration. In good times and in bad, you can count on me.
I will lift you up when skies are gray and be the first to celebrate every accomplishment, large or small. I vow to respect and care for you each day of our lives, but most of all, I promise to love you until the end of time.
Yeah, you will.
Thank you, Bethany. Ready? Got it.
Now, not by the powers vested in me by the state of California, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride. Woo! Woo, whoops. You're not going anywhere. No, not yet. Now, may I have the glass, please? Oh, sorry. No.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'm going to go off script here for a little bit, and we want to incorporate a fun tradition, a Jewish tradition in weddings, breaking of the glass. And while I have a Catholic upbringing, I had the pleasure of researching the meaning behind such event. And so, well, there's a couple different meanings behind the breaking of the glass. One of them is the temple burning in Israel. As one rabbi put it on YouTube that I watched, Chris, it's the last time you get to put your foot down in the relationship. But more importantly, it symbolizes two souls breaking at the birth and coming together now through this marriage. And so it's tradition to yell Mazel Tov once the glass is broken. So if we can just do a test run on 3, 1, 2, 3, Mazel Tov. Beautiful. All right. You ready? Mazel Tov! Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Mr. and Mrs. Chris and Calley Barton.
Found a love for me, darling, just dive right in, follow my lead. Well, I found a boy, beautiful and sweet. Oh, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time, but darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it, darling. You perfect tonight. I found a man stronger than anyone I know. He shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share his home. I found a lover.
We truly appreciate how long it took. You know, a lot of you came from far-flung places like Boston, New York, even Tennessee. So we appreciate all the friends that came here. Also, in thanking those who made this day so special, I must give a well-deserved shout-out to Peter. Okay. So Peter Hammond, he did not take this lightly. Exactly. I want you to know how honored he was to be asked and how seriously he took his responsibility, even meeting with them several times to learn more about them as a couple and as individuals and what they wanted reflected in today's ceremony. So thank you, Peter. Now on to the bride. Okay, where's the bride? Calley, you were joy to your dad and I from infancy, your adventurous spirit, your warm and sunny disposition, and your love for animals. At 1.5 years old, we got a beautiful red Doberman puppy. A bit too rambunctious and playful for most toddlers, but you loved her. Joey followed her everywhere, and she was nonplussed by Joey's size. Then came the parrot her sister passed down to her, and she took this responsibility with no fear. Despite the parrot's crabby disposition with everybody else, Calley, at 8 years old, intuitively knew how to soothe him, and he gladly traveled on her shoulder and was putty in her hands. So the love for animals has led to her fondness for our pup, Ace. A lot of you saw Ace today. When I am away, Ace loves staying with Chris and Calley in their small apartment. I think Peter mentioned they are always joking, truly one of the most playful couples I know. Now back to Calley. As a young girl, about 4 years old, she began watching her dad, Mitch, practicing martial arts and doing Kempo karate, a passion of his throughout his life. At 5, she began taking classes, and she was the youngest there, of course, but by the time she was 10, she was going to competitions, and she was teaching. Her love of martial arts continues to this day and her, a boxer. Well, watch out, Chris. Don't get her on her bad side. Found the man of her dreams. A man so upstanding and accomplished. Someone he knew would love her, provide for her, and protect her. And Calley, I know you will do the same. So, in ending this toast, oh, my glass. Where's my glass? Thank you. Oops. Okay. It is on this note that I want to lift a glass and toast the beautiful bride and groom. And in doing so, decided to end with the final paragraph of Mitch's toast at Georgia and Brian's wonderful wedding 8 years ago. I think if the father of the bride were here today, he would say exactly what he said 8 years ago, and end on this note. Therefore, I will quote verbatim, only changing the name of the bride and the groom. I wish for you both, Calley and Christopher, to share great moments of accomplishment, and to revel in them, and to know that life's disappointments are to be expected, and you will grow from them both. You now have each other, and you are stronger as such, much stronger as such. We ask the Almighty God to bestow upon Christopher and Calley a life of good health, a joyous life with much abundance, and children that will bring them the same joy she and her sister brought to us. Bravo! I wish for you both to have the great love and partnership your mother and I have shared for nearly 40 years and experience the true love that is the once-in-a-lifetime love.
You are an amazing friend and mother-in-law. We could never have hoped to be so lucky. The love you've shown us is the biggest blessing you could give anyone, and we are both so lucky that your daughters had you to see what it means to be the best wife in the world. It doesn't get any better than you, and we absolutely love and adore you. Now, before we raise our glasses for another toast, I want to be sure to celebrate the beautiful bridesmaids and groomsmen who have all been wonderful friends to Calley and Chris. I'm not sure what the groomsmen did today, but I can assure you the bridesmaids made a much bigger effort. Let's just say they tripped the fuse box a couple times. And honestly, these friends and all of the family and guests here today are proof of what wonderful people Chris and Calley are.
Oh yeah.
So without further ado, I pray this is a magical day for you and the beginning of an eternal life together. That tomorrow you will both wake up and know the feeling in your hearts that God brought you together on purpose and in His divine wisdom. To Calley and Chris and future nieces and nephews. Cheers.
Stage 4 cancer. Calley took it upon herself to be constantly by his side, helping him with his every need. She would drive over regularly from the city after a long day of work to help him with anything he needed and brighten his day. As we struggled as a family with all we were dealing with, Calley was there like a rock to shoulder every extra need that we all had. This is just the type of person that my sister is. It was during this time that I also saw Chris's devotion to Calley and our family. Chris was always by my sister's side, supporting her and loving her as she dealt with losing her father as a young adult. Chris and my sister's bond just seemed to blossom and grow stronger in the midst of challenges that would have torn other couples apart. Yeah. Calley, as you know, Dad is here with us. He's here. I feel him everywhere, and he is so proud of you. I also know Dad is happy that Chris is now officially part of the Wiener family. Dad loved Chris. And he's really happy you had this wedding in Palm Springs, because he loves to hang out here, so he's cool with that. Anyways, so friends and family, let me grab my glass. So friends and family, please raise your glasses to toast my sister and my new brother. What I hope for you in your journey through life together is to take each day and cherish your time together. Love one another well and never ending. Here is to love, laughter, and happily ever after. We love you too. Cheers.
Well, I just want to say thank you for everyone for coming. First off, I don't have anything prepared either, so it won't be as great as those. So thank everyone for coming. We wouldn't be obviously celebrating this without you guys. It would be very boring, obviously, if it was just us two. So got that going for us. I want to thank the families, of course. If they weren't here, then we wouldn't be here. So blessed to celebrate. Especially Isabel. Thanks for hosting all this. This is amazing. I think the party last night was successful. Will be even better, I think, hopefully. It's been great. I think my parents as well. They've been very supportive throughout my entire life, and will continue to be supportive as well, hopefully. Especially, I will try and be supportive to you, reciprocal, as you get older. But most of all, I want to thank this lady right here, because, I mean, come on.
This is completely ad-lib.
Everybody hold on.
So, since Kristen said I'm so old, I'm going to leave now. Or will be so old. I first met Calley, well, like Isabel said, about 6 weeks into the relationship, when Christopher was hospitalized. And she struck me as somebody very solid and very supportive. And I appreciated everything she did then and everything she's done for the last 5 years, 6 years, whatever it's been. I've got Alzheimer's.
You were right.
And the reality is that they are a good couple, and they have been a good couple for all that time. And to keep it short and simple so we can get to dessert, I appreciate everybody in the Calley's family. They're all fantastic people. Obviously, everybody in my family is fantastic. But the reality is, thank you to the Barton family, or welcome to the Barton family, as opposed to what that is. But, and we've got everybody here to thank you. Thank you.